Hi, Timothy Carlson here. When it comes to horror movie monsters, Jason Voorhees is certainly one of the most legendary. And I'm glad to see that some of the Friday the 13th movies are finally starting to get 4K Ultra High Def releases. Today we're taking a look at a release from Arrow Video, this being Jason Goes to Hell, The Final Friday, which wasn't actually The Final Friday. I'm going to unbox this release and share my opinions. Nice cover art there of Jason's mask. There's our spine text. Curiously, the packaging does not use the Final Friday title. I guess because they realized it wasn't the final movie. Not the first time the series had pulled something like that. There is reversible art underneath, which I've already gone ahead and reversed. This is more akin to the vintage art. We get an ad here for the Arrow Video streaming service. An ad for some movie with a title that appears to be in Italian. I have no idea what that is. We get a nice poster here as well, which seems to be customary for Arrow Video releases. On this side, you have Arrow Video's art. On this side, you have the vintage art. And again, something that's customary with a lot of Arrow releases. We have the booklet. This time, it's actually done in the style of the coroner's autopsy report. So I quite like the way that looks. As usual, I'm not going to go through every single page in here, but there's some nice essays and photos from the production. In the case, we have two discs. Disc 1 is the theatrical cut of Jason Goes to Hell, and disc 2 is the unrated cut. As with most Arrow Video releases on 4K, this does not include a Blu-ray copy of the film. So any images you see in this review are actually taken from the earlier Scream Factory Blu-ray release. They are not screen caps of this release and do not represent the picture quality. After dying, coming back, taking Manhattan, and dying again, Jason Voorhees is now back as a body snatcher in Jason Goes to Hell, an impossibly fun slice of campy supernatural slasher action. Jason Voorhees is finally dead, or is he? After being blown to smithereens in a sting operation, the infamous killer's body is taken to the morgue in Youngstown, Ohio. But Jason can't be killed so easily, and his still beating heart possesses the body of the coroner performing his autopsy. The now body-hopping Jason begins hacking and slashing his way back to his stomping ground of Crystal Lake, where his last living relatives, Diana and her daughter Jessica and her newborn baby Stephanie, still reside. Only by them can he truly be killed, only through them can he be reborn, and Jason is determined to return to full power. Can the last remaining Voorheeses survive long enough to finally send Jason to hell for good? Featuring fan favorite Kane Hodder as Jason, and spectacular special effects by industry legends Howard Berger, Robert Kurtzman, and Greg Nicotero of KMB EFX Group, Jason Goes to Hell is a madcap entry in one of the most longest lasting and entertaining franchises of all time. So if you're keeping count, this is actually the 9th film in the Friday the 13th series. For some reason, I don't think they were legally allowed to use the name Friday the 13th, which is why the title just has Jason in it instead of Friday the 13th. And this was the first film in the series since Part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan, which had come out several years ago in the late 80s. It was an attempt to revive the series, although it certainly didn't quite pull that off as well as expected. The movie comes off as slightly campy. Some of the effects look very dated. Personally, I love the opening scene of this where Jason is presumably killed in a sting operation, but nothing that follows really capitalizes on that. We get some characters that, admittedly, some of them are quite funny and entertaining. We get an American crime talk show host. We get a woman running a diner. We get a man who reunites with his estranged girlfriend who's also the mother of his baby. And it's not long before you have Jason back in the equation doing what he does best. This time around, Jason is stealing people's bodies and possessing them, and that unto itself is one of the biggest problems of this film. Jason Voorhees works on film because he's Jason Voorhees. He's this big, towering man with a machete with a hockey mask on. When you have Kane Hodder playing Jason Voorhees with machete and hockey mask, he's threatening and he's physically imposing. When you have Jason possessing the body of the guy who played George Washington Duke in Rocky V, suddenly he's a lot less threatening and menacing. And there's just so many scenes throughout the movie where, again, he finds himself stealing bodies to stay alive, to try to resurrect at full power. The movie just sort of collapses on itself. It is entertaining in a sort of campy, cheesy way, but again, I don't really think that's what the filmmakers were 100% going for here. Some horror franchises can incorporate more campy, comedic elements, and it actually gives the franchise a much-needed kick in the pants. The Child's Play franchise being a great example of that, but making Jason more campy, hammy, and over the top is a detriment to the character, not a benefit. So Jason Goes to Hell is definitely not one of the high watermarks of this series. There are some good moments and, of course, some good violence, given that we do have Jason Voorhees doing what he does best. But I certainly wouldn't rank this anywhere near the top of the Friday the 13th heap. Jason Goes to Hell has never been a great-looking film on home video. This release from Arrow Video, again, like all previous releases, it's still pretty murky looking. A lot of that's due to the optical effects work of the day. It's just always been a murky, dirty looking film, but Arrow actually manages to make it look a little more natural, and you do get, deeper, darker black levels. You get all the benefits of Dolby Vision. Again, this can only go so far, but it is the best Jason Goes to Hell has looked on home video to date. Certainly not a reference quality disc, certainly not a great looking disc, but probably the best and most faithful looking transfer we're going to get of this movie. We do get a few bonus features here as well. There's a brand new commentary track on the unrated cut disc. The bulk of the bonus features, most of which are previously released ones, are on the first disc. But we do also get some new interviews commissioned by Arrow Video, including one with makeup effects creator Robert Kurtzman, one with actor Julie Michaels, and then one with Harry Manfredini, the guy who scored most of the entries in this series. So it is good to see that Arrow Video did throw in a few new bonus features, in addition to including most of the vintage ones out there as well. Again, Jason Goes to Hell is not a great film. I mean, the franchise in a lot of ways did go to hell with this installment. I guess it's entertaining for what it is, and if you are a fan of the Friday the 13th series and Jason Voorhees, you'll certainly want to add this one to your collection. Arrow Video does give the movie the best possible presentation that it can get. Never going to be reference quality, but I think this is the best release we can ask for, and I can certainly recommend this to fans of the franchise and the character. How about you? Are you a fan of the Friday the 13th series? What's your favorite appearance on screen of Jason Voorhees? Comment down below and let me know what you think. Also, remember to subscribe to this channel for more content. I'm always posting new videos. And make sure you give this one a like if you found it helpful. I'm Tilly T. Carlson. I'll see you next time.